The brain's an organ, and your organs are fucked. I'm having trouble finding biological systems that aren't compromised on some level. Muscles, epidermis. Looks like your reproductive bits got lucky. That's about it, though, she said as she looked at the clipboard. You know, a rare few might get exposed to taint and get some decent benefit from it, like regeneration or the like. But mostly, like you, they just die. Normally, I wouldn't give a damn, but I spend a lot of time, energy, and good chems trying to piece you back together. The very least you can do is try to pretend like you're trying to keep that hunk of meat you call a body in something vaguely resembling working condition. You don't get it, I said softly, as I stared at Glory's unconscious form. This is my fault. Going through the tunnels was my idea. I cost her wings. Her wings. I might as well have lit her on fire and called it a day. I have to make this right. You have to take care of yourself. You've got 6 months to live, maybe a year. We removed the most blatant taint tumors, but there are still others inside you, and... I silenced her with a hard shake. Don't you understand, Doctor? It doesn't matter. All that matters is helping my friends. I die in a year, so what? Glory will have to spend the rest of her life stuck on the ground because I took a tunnel and she followed me in. I clenched my eyes shut, trying to control my shaking. I have to help her fly again. Tell me there's a way. Triage staggered back out of reach, and I tumbled right out of the chair and sprawled onto my face. Incredible. I've heard DJ Pony talk about you, but I never thought it would possibly be true, she said as I tried to get my limbs under me. Triage lifted my chin with her hoof and stared into my eyes with wonder. How the fuck aren't you dead? Her tone was one of marvel and sick disgust. You're telling me that you seriously, sincerely, don't give a damn about yourself? That you're willing to die and rot so long as you're helping others? We should have just let you die and save ourselves the materials. Funny. I thought helping others was a good thing, I muttered. You're the second doctor I've met who I thought was stupid for hurting myself and helping others. She stared into my eyes and shook her head slowly. What good is your help if it kills you? You think ponies won't need your help after you're gone? That your friends won't need you? If you don't take care of yourself, then all you're going to do is end up sick, masochistic suicide. And I don't waste my skills and effort on suicide cases. She shoved me away, stood and levitated me back into the chair. As to your friend, I've only had 2 Pegasus patients before her. Neither had severed wings. I suggest that, if you want a more informed opinion, you can just crawl down the road to the skyport and ask the Pegasi if they have any more treatment for regrowing a wing, because I don't. And with that, she trot out of the room. I sat there for the longest time, using my magic to nudge myself closer to the bed. I reached out, gently stroking her choppy amethyst mane, as I dreaded when she'd finally awake. It was growing out quite fast. Pretty soon, it'd be thick enough for her to hide behind it. Again. A soft clearing of the throat made me look over at P21. Rampage was curled up outside the door, looking as lost as I felt. Hey, he said softly. Hey yourself. He looked wary, scared, worried for me. But I also noticed something else. He wasn't limping anymore. I looked back and saw the brace was gone from his rear leg. They fix it? Apparently, that regeneration booth is some heavy-duty magic. Remove the scarring, I finally feel like I can walk without my leg falling off. Which is good, because that innervation almost fused my entire leg. He said with a mirthless smile. Scotch tape and lacuna are in a bad way. Scotch tape had some major internal bleeding. I think, being younger, she was more susceptible to the magical fields. She's not talking to any pony. And lacuna just stands there. She'll follow you if you lead her, but that's about it. I closed my eyes. I don't know how I could possibly help them, but I had to. I had to help them all. At least, you're still with me? I said with a smile, as I reached over to nudge his shoulder with my limp limb. But his sad smile melted away as he looked off to the side with a worried frown. What? What is it? His blue eyes looked away at the wall, the door, Glory. Anything that wasn't me. I'm not sure I can keep doing this, Blackjack. I don't know why we keep throwing ourselves into harm's way over and over again. 99 is done. Throw easy 1101 in the river or down that shaft or something, and let's go back to chapel and have some kind of life again with no monsters or killing. Just a quiet life for as long as we can. He closed his eyes. Priest is there. Sakashi. The Crusaders. Even Charity. He pressed his lips together and gave a snorty sniff. I found someone that makes me whole and complete, and I don't want to lose it again. I was down in that hole, and I was going to die. I was going to lose it all forever, and I almost let it happen. And if you keep doing this, you will. I said softly, feeling as though my rotting, worthless heart had been ripped out of my chest, and only a void remained inside. I closed my eyes, feeling the ache. And what hurt the most was that he was right. I was cursed. I was like a walking ball of pain and misery, and every pony I encountered, good or bad or otherwise, was smashed apart as I rolled along. I used to think that if I kept my friends close, at least I could take the hurt myself, catch the bullets with my own damned hide. But I couldn't do that anymore. I tried to be strong, but I wasn't strong enough. I tried to be tough, but I wasn't tough enough. Hell, I couldn't even take care of myself anymore. Well then, as soon as you are all feeling better, you should go, I said. Head back to chapel. You're smart and clever. They'll need you if you're going to build that place right. Take Glory and Scotch Tape with you. Lacuna too. And Rampage, if they'll let her. But you won't be coming with us. I can't, I said softly, closing my eyes. There's something bad in Hoofington. Something bad that started a long time ago. Golden Blood did something. Some plan or plot involving EC 1101. Besides, if I did go to chapel, the trouble would follow me there, too. What does it matter, Blackjack? It was 200 years ago. It matters, I snapped, glaring at him. He looked shocked at my reaction, and I drew in a shaky breath. One thing I'm absolutely sure of is that Golden Blood didn't do anything that didn't matter. And I just know deep in my soul that it's bad. Maybe it was that thing I shot with Folly. Maybe it's whoever Sanguine serves. I don't know. All I know is that some pony needs to stop it, or Hoofington will just keep killing. If the killing isn't going to stop, I can't give up. He just stared at me with that sad-eyed gaze. You're incredible, Blackjack. You really are. But I'm not. I'm sorry, he said quietly as he hung his head again. Don't be. It's the smart thing to do, I said quietly. And, you know me, I'm an idiot. He sniffed as he rose to his hooves and quietly left the hospital room. I simply reached forward and stroked her cheek again, trying to ignore the bones bending in my leg. He was doing the right thing. He was a smart pony. I don't know how long I sat there alone, listening to the monitor that beeped out her vitals minute after minute, hour after hour. Then I saw the tiny shift of her head, the hairs falling across her eyes as they slowly opened. She didn't look at me. She didn't have to. Her right wing lifted only an inch or so and fell back. Her left, the bandage stubbed, moved slightly. Her eyes slowly closed again, seeking that solace of oblivion as she started to weep broken, gasping sobs. She'd taken the betrayal of her people, the loss of her cutie marks, the abandonment of her family. She'd suffered humiliation and terror and endured my selfish, self-destructive desertion. Now she'd lost her fundamental self. I'd only ever reached that point where the wasteland almost won. But that was me. Now, the wasteland was attacking my friends, and it was winning. I stretched a hoof towards her, and she rolled away from me, pressing her face to the mattress as she wept as silently as she could. Slowly, I withdrew my limb, clenching my eyes shut as I felt a little ball of rage and pain constrict more and more inside of me. Glory had fallen for real, and I had to find some way, any way, to make her better again. Drawing a slow, shaking breath, I stared at the back of her head. Ante up. I used my magic to turn the chair and wheel it back down the hall. Rampage immediately jumped to her hooves. How is she? My look was enough answer. I'd been told that I had a shooty look. Right now, I expected I had a balefire bomb look going on. Unfortunately, the orderlies didn't seem to quite catch on as they trot up. Dr. Triage said we're to take you back to your room. I didn't look at him. I was too busy trying to burn a hole through his chest with my stare alone. I need my gear. Now. He laughed. Your gear? You can't even support your own weight. How? And then my horn flashed and blasted the wall beside his head. He stared and staggered to the side, staring at me in shock. You're crazy. Then don't fuck with me. My gear, get it. I said as I rolled the chair past him. He, however, seemed to feel the need to play hero and kicked over the chair, sending me sprawling. He yelled for help as I rolled onto my chest. He hadn't been wrong. My legs weren't supporting me. They bent and flopped as I tried to rise. Oh yeah, and they hurt. A lot. Rampage, can you find my stuff? Sure, Blackjack. But what are you going to do? What my doctor recommended, I said, as I looked down the hall. She trot off quickly. If I couldn't walk, then I'd crawl. I opened each door and checked the contents. Bathroom, office, locked. My horn reached out to the next lock and twisted without finesse, but it clicked open. My luck seemed to be holding for now. Opening the door, I looked at the medical supplies in neat little rows, including a metal box with 4 leg braces. I tried not to smile as I saw that one of them had a tag reading Stable Tech number 99. Carefully, I buckled each brace tightly on its appropriate limb. Here goes nothing, I muttered as I lifted myself to my hooves. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't easy, but at least I was standing on my own. P-21 and Rampage appeared in the doorway. What do you think you're doing? P-21 asked me as he saw me standing in the braces. Going to the Rainbow Dash skyport, I replied, as I levitated my barding and started to strap it in place over the braces. You're going to the Enclave. He stared at me as I nodded and checked my shotgun. Is this a suicidal relapse? I loaded the weapon with buckshot, slung it, and moved on to check vigilance. Nope. I'm coming back. That's part of the plan. There's only one thing I know that will help her, and it isn't me. I muttered softly as I pointed the pistol and scowled. My depth perception was all futzed up. I tore off the bandages, but it didn't help. Then I saw the horrified looks on their faces. What? Your eye.